Check, mic check. This the link you just sent.
Yeah.
All right. Today. I like. Yeah, we can. Yo, what's going on? Sports fam. Oh, here go Nate right here. About to get it kicked off.
Yeah, hold on. I'm about to do the countdown.
Yo, sports family. What's going on, man? And we back at it again with another episode of Micah and Friends. And today, you know what it is. You got the usual suspects checking in, man. You got myself and you got my guy Nate checking in from the West Coast, aka the best coast. Nate, what up?
Uh-oh.
Hold on. I can't even. Yo.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes, sir, man. I gave it the good introduction. I'm gonna say it again, man. We got my brother Nate checking in from the West Coast, aka the best coast. Nate, what's going on, man?
Man, what's going on, brother? Good to be here.
Just cooling, man. We got a lot of good topics to get into today. There's a lot going on today. We got the Clippers versus that. There's a lot going on today. Let's get to it. Yeah. But first, let's go ahead and shout out the sponsor, man, AQUANO Hydrate, man. Make sure you go over there on Instagram, follow them, put your order in right now. Just once you order it, or when you message them, just put Micah and Friends. And you never know. You never know what else, whatever else could happen with that. You may get an extra couple bottles or so. You never know. but just let them know that Mike and friends sent you, and make sure you put that order in at AQUANO Hydrate, man. It's the best thing on the market, man. Diddy don't got nothing on this. Come on. But, man, let's go ahead and get it going, man. Like I said, we got my homie Nate checking in from the West Coast, a.k.a. the best coast. And it's no other way we could start this other than giving a shout out to Kobe and Gigi and all the lost ones that lost their lives in that crash, man. And it's the 1 year memorial of that. Actually, a year and a week. So we definitely want to lead off the show with that. And I just want to get your reaction to it and just what Kobe means to you and everything like that.
Man, bro, I still remember like the whole moment when it happened. Like it was early Sunday morning. I was just waking up. I usually tune into service, 8 o'clock, we getting ready for church and stuff like that, man. I just started on Twitter, people just talking about, Kobe passed. It was just another one of those moments where it's just like, you don't believe it when you hear it, like for me, when Nipsey Hussle passed, like, oh, no, he'll be all right. Like you kind of put people on like a pedestal and it's like, bro, they're a superhero. You feel me? Like they don't make it out of anything. You feel me? We've seen Kobe, go from airballing shots his rookie year, not being the number one pick, to being considered one of the GOATs, to being Grammy and Emmy nominated, after his first few years of retirement, so seeing Kobe unfortunately pass, it was just kind of like a superhero falling. Being from LA, like I was never growing up, I wasn't a huge Laker fan, but my brother and sister were to death, so like the fact that they shedding tears for somebody that they never met, that he had such a profound impact on them, not just only in basketball, just in terms of the whole Mamba mentality, you feel me, going after what you want, just not stopping when people, when people say no, or when hard times happen, it's not quitting.
You see me?
Yeah.
All right, bet. Nah, you keep going.
But it was just a very somber moment. I went down to the Staples Center like 2 days after Kobe's passing. And believe it or not, at the time I was working for the Clippers in game entertainment, and I saw all of my bosses at the Laker Memorial for Kobe Bryant. So, even though it's a rivalry, or, even though the teams hated each other, like Kobe transcended rivalries. He transcended basketball, like just seeing the impact he had on people that never even touched the sport of basketball. You feel me? Like that's very profound. And like I was also fortunate enough to be able to go to the first game after his passing. The Blazers played the Lakers, working for Goodwin. I got a chance to go to that game. Lakers did end up losing that game, but to see how many people, felt the same emotions of just sorrow and sadness, like from just a range of relationships. You got people that have never met Kobe who just watched him on TV, to the people that have played with Kobe on the court shedding tears. You got artists like John Legend, all these different entertainers there, and they were connected by one man, and that was Bean. You feel me? That was the Mamba. And that was just one of those moments I'll never really forget. I actually gave my brother the ticket from that game for his 30th birthday, the ticket, and then the shirt I got from there. I gave him that. But that moment will always be memorialized for me. And I think Kobe, we've seen after his death how big he really was to everybody. RIP to him, his daughter, who was about to be a beast on the court. He was a champion for the women's game, which was dope. And all 7 other people that passed away, man. Just a really tragic incident, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. One moment that you brought up was, just the early on in his career to being Emmy nominated, man. The biggest thing that sticks out to me is just when he tore his Achilles and just got up and shot the free throws. It's like, man, you could just never quit, and that's in any situation in life. And Kobe always led with that in his life on a daily basis, just never quit and never giving in. So that's one thing. I don't know. It definitely don't get no easier. Even though a year passed, it's like, man, it didn't get no easier. It's still like Kobe gone. Because the way I am, man, like guys like Kobe, you expect to see him covering the league and stuff right now.
Man, he was doing the detail and everything.
Yeah,
he's just one of those guys you never think he could go.
Yeah, and it was just, I don't know, man. There's so many people that were influenced and motivated by Kobe. So especially in the league right now, man, it's crazy. So I think, the legacy will continue to forever live on, and I think everybody's going to know about Kobe, even our kids, and people under us. I feel like the legend of him will forever go on just because we never seen such a great like this go down like that. And like I said, definitely want to highlight the other people in that car accident. I mean, not in the car, in the helicopter accident as well. You know, that lost their lives, and definitely just want to send our thoughts and our condolences out to their family as well.
He gonna be around forever, bro. Like same thing kind of with Nip in LA, bro. Like you can drive around LA, any part of Los Angeles. I'm talking Venice, Santa Monica, I'm talking South Central, I'm talking Inglewood, I'm talking Gardena, Downey. Anywhere where there's culture, you find Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just drive down, you see his name memorialized on the wall. R.I.P. Mamba. You feel me? Kobe forever, Mama forever. Huge murals that people weren't getting paid to do. Just doing it because they just wanted to, you know, show reverence to somebody that had inspired them so much. You feel me? So Kobe's legacy, like you said, it's never going to die. You know, I feel like, especially with the legacy of the shoes, you know, just in general, what he kind of left here, like you said, the inspiration to the younger generation. Like, it's unfortunate now that our kids will never get to, you know, see Kobe, you know, accept an Emmy or see Kobe at, like, we kind of see the Bill Russells or the Kareems. Like, those are living legends, you know what I'm saying, to our parents' generation. And that's kind of how it would have been with Kobe. But I don't think our generation is going to let Kobe's name die. So, you know, we just got to keep it going and just kind of embrace that Mamba mentality, man.
And too, you know, I definitely want to say something about that. And this is just off the Kobe topic. We could finish that, seal that.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kobe. We love you forever. Miss Vanessa Bryant, all the other kids. But one thing I do want to say is, you know, you talked about us, like our kids not being able to see Kobe like how we seen Kareem. Man, I don't think them guys was like that, bro. I'm sorry. Like a lot of those guys, like I'm not saying Kareem in general, but just a lot of those guys, like it's a lot of hype. Like I'm not gonna say hype, but it's a lot of just, oh wow, we had Walt Frazier. Like I get it, it's Walt Frazier. I get it, it's all these other guys, but man, you're not about to tell whose numbers was that I was looking at. I don't know. He was average like I think it was like 34 and 25 rebounds.
That's Wilt. You got to be talking about Wilt.
For sure. And I'm like, in the 60s?
Man, see, the thing is, like, the older generation, they're at a disadvantage just because of film. Like, we can literally go back and look at, like, there's programs out there, especially, like, you know, when I was working in the NBA with the Wizards, like, there's literally programs out there you could watch games from 1990s. You know what I'm saying? Like, every single game of a player if you really wanted to. And, like, we don't have that advantage. But if you ask people like, you know, my pops, he about to turn 60. If you ask somebody like him, he still thinks somebody like Wilt, you feel me, like was one of the best athletes of all time just because his size, speed, you feel me. So it's kind of like folklore to us, but the people that actually seen, like, you feel me, my dad used to watch Magic play. So it was like, you know, it was like, damn, that's like a living legend to him.
Well, though, too. Like, I feel like when we get older, if somebody comes along and is greater than LeBron, greater than Kobe, greater than Jordan, I feel like our generation is going to say that, like, oh, yeah, he the best to ever play. Like, I don't think we're going to be like, no, you got Kobe, Jordan.
Right. That's what we think now until that really happens. You know what I'm saying? Then we're going to put them on a different pedestal. We're going to be like, ooh, you still going to have to do this, and this to get better than Bron or Kobe. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a hater. But once you get older, I don't know what it is, bro. Once you get older, old heads start turning to haters.
Man, I don't know what it is. Like, we just gonna leave that where it's at. That's a whole nother conversation. But let's go ahead and roll over to this next one. I said earlier that the Nets are going to be playing the Clippers tonight. I also need your score prediction for that. Who's going to win? But the more serious topic at hand is they can't close out games. So I need to know, what's going to happen? Do you think they'll be able to get it together defensively? Are they just going to have to play this way for the year and just hope whatever happens, or what?
Man, I literally sat here on this Micah and Friends podcast, I believe a month or two ago, and I said once they made all the hires that they had made, being Steve Nash, being D'Antoni, being Amari Stoudemire, I didn't see any defensive baseline for this team. And to this point, especially with the addition of Jay Harden, I've been proving, you know, pretty correct. Like, they have the number one offensive efficiency, which would be the best of all time, but they also have the worst defensive efficiency, which would be the worst of all time. And to me, it's not a winning formula for a championship team. Like, they have all the talent, but if you can't stop the guys in front of you, like, you know, you hear somebody like Kyrie, he talked about the Wizards game. He was like, I couldn't guard a stick if it was in front of me. Like, bro, you guys have been saying that for games now.
Yeah.
Something's got to change. Like, I think the difference between a lot of other big threes is that a lot of people had a role, right? So you feel me? You look at the Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce role. You got Ray Allen, he's the scorer, slasher, spot up type guy. Paul Pierce was the dominant scorer. And then KG was like, defensive anchor. You feel me? Miami, you look at E-Wade, Bron, those were already A+ defenders. And then Chris Bosh was already a plus defender as well. You look at the Spurs, we got a 15-time all-defensive guy in Tim Duncan. Tony Parker, he wasn't the best defender, but he was scrappy. He was willing, and Manu Ginobili, he was a willing defender. I don't see any willing defenders out of KD. KD plays defense and he tries to play defense too. Like, he tries hard. He doesn't enjoy getting scored on, but when I watch the games, man, like it almost looks to me like Kyrie and Jay Harden are just out there like, you know what? If they score, they score. We just gonna score more. But that's not realistic, man. Like, it's just not. You're gonna have to stop teams. If the Wizards are putting up 150 on you in regular season, what are you gonna do when you get to teams that are running like legit schemes in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's gonna happen then? So I'm a little concerned because I don't really see any person on the roster that would turn the defensive around. So I mean, unfortunately, they might have to explore the trade market again, but they're kind of loose, lacking assets now. So, I think that's a real problem for them.
Yeah, I think to pick up a Shump would be cool, but I mean, it's just one person, and you said in the chat, man, you've been gone for 2 years,
2 years now.
Years.
You making music and stuff.
I feel like he'll be able to be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's like, granted, Durant, he'll defend. He's a good man defender. Like, but if you like zone and stuff, if the other guys aren't helping, then it's like it doesn't matter what he does. So I think, like you said, the formula that they've been working with is not gonna get it done, man. Being able to shoot 63% from the field every night is not gonna happen. And that's not even reasonable. So when you have that going on top of guys just out there just not even trying defensively, it's like, come on now, like we got to do way better than this. And I think I don't know if they'll be able to turn it around, like you said.
Look at that defense, bro. Yeah, off of a made basket, they're throwing it off 2 passes, 1 dribble to the rim. Like, that's unacceptable. And when I was watching the game down the stretch too, there were points of the game where the Nets, with a little bit of solid defense, could have taken the game. They could have ended the game right there. But they let them stick around, and then, they're just letting them get 2 easy looks. They'll get a 3, they'll get a bucket. Next thing you know, maybe not even 5 seconds. The other team's already at the rim or getting a good shot off. Like, that's not acceptable.
Yeah. And the way that they've been winning, though, it's kind of like, I don't even count those as like blowouts. Like, all right, you blew them out by 25, but they have 125 points. Like, still, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's why me and my friend, we had this big conversation. This is like through both sports, through football and basketball. I'm like, people are so in love with offense now and just are not playing defense that it makes defense a premium now. He's like, no, man, nobody don't care about defense. I'm like, no, bro. It's to the point whoever plays defense is going to win.
For example,
nobody else plays defense, bro. So even like from a football standpoint, if we want to get into Belichick and stuff, like that's the method to his man. He's a defensive guy, bro. And even in basketball, defense is going to win it, bro. Especially now, if you could hold the Nets to 1-0 to 102 when you score, you averaging 120 on them because they can't stop you.
Facts.
I mean, just the numbers alone to tell you, like, all right, it's gonna be over with. Because
I mean, if you look at the numbers of like just the best scoring teams in general, if their defense, like you said, it's just not gonna work. Like, people think that the Warriors were just like such a great offensive team. Like, what made the Warriors so good from that 2015 to 2019 run was their defense. Like Klay Thompson was a All NBA defender. Draymond Green, Defensive Player of the Year. People like to talk about Steph, but Steph tries on defense. You know what I'm saying? He might not be the best defender, but he tries on defense. Like, you're not really going to pick on Steph unless you got like elite offensive players. Then you had Andre Iguodala.
But still,
you had a lot of defenders.
With those guys, when you have somebody that's maybe not as good on the defensive side like Curry, it's easy to shield. It's easy to shield a Curry. It's easy to shield a Duncan Robinson. It's easy to shield guys like that who defense may not be their forte, but they try.
And that's what it is. You got to try. Like, I don't see no effort from Jay Harden. Honestly, I see no type of defensive effort from him. And that's the thing with Shumpert. Like, you can bring Shumpert in, but to put him on the floor with your best guys, I mean, what at that point, what lineup are you running? And this is why I was scared of the D'Antoni hire. Because let me ask you this. Has the offense turned into D'Antoni?
Real quick. With Shump, he's going to have to guard the best player on the court. Either him or Durant. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to have to guard the best player. But keep going.
But so to you, does this offense so far look very reminiscent to the Rockets offense? Because to me, it looks extremely similar. Like it's a lot of one-on-one, except now that they've kind of dispersed James Harden's responsibilities, right? Yeah. So instead of just being Jay Harden dribble, pound, literally they take turns doing it on each possession. You feel me? Yeah. Like, it's not a very free-flowing offense, and like they're starting to trend towards small ball too, which is the difference.
The only one who, and I hate this, but it's KD. He's the only one that really doesn't play into, because you could just look at his shots and you could see, like, all right, he's letting the game come to him. He's not just forcing shots, which I feel like he should probably up his volume of shooting just because he's the best one on the team. And I feel like he should probably up it. But, you know, what does that say to the other ones? You know what I'm saying? And that's the situation that they got themselves in, because you got three guys who love to score. You know what I'm saying?
I'm concerned about that.
I can't even say three guys who love to score. Two guys in particular who just feel like they're not valuable unless they're scoring. You know what I'm saying? So
if you look at the scoring champions pretty much kind of throughout history, besides Michael and Kobe, most of them aren't winning players, bro. No offense to Tracy McGrady, didn't get it done. No offense to Jay Harden, didn't get it done. When Kevin Durant was the leading scorer in the league, wasn't getting it done. Same with what's his name? AI. You know, he got his team to the pinnacle, but just scoring the basketball does not make you the best player. Yeah. And that's kind of where, like, I often have disagreements with, like, my friends and stuff, because, like, bro, look at his numbers. He averaging 36. Like, I don't care.
Are you seeing him getting cooked defensively?
I'll take LeBron's 27, 7, and 7 before I'll take 34 plus, and, like, you know, the rest of the game starts lagging, because you need well-rounded players. You can win by committee. It's a team sport. Yeah. You can win by committee.
And that's why you brought up a good point with that. And granted, I'm not Draymond. You put the LeBron comparison. I'm not saying Draymond's an MVP, never will be, never has played like that. But
on defense, he has been.
He played like the MVP, like in the finals and forced. But Draymond, he's one of those guys, like, he's like, his value exudes like
the stats
game, bro. Like, course, like, so saying the numbers, like looking at the numbers for everything, that's not going to be the answer to everything, because you got to use, like, that's why I always say it's only so much analytics you can use. That's why guys like D'Antoni get it wrong, just because you
got to have the eye test,
bro. Yes, you got to be able to. What are your two eyes telling you? You know what I'm saying? You can't negate what your eyes is telling you and just look at the numbers. You're not a finance, like you're not a business. You know what I mean?
They mean something. But I think analytics is more valuable when it comes to, like, shot dispersion, right? So talking about the difference between how many threes and twos you should take, or, you know, how many long twos you should take. I understand it, but at the end of the day, you can't run a game plan off that, to me, because then it alleviates a big part of the game, which is the mid-range game. And if you look at, like, the Nets offense right now, besides Kevin Durant, they're not taking a lot of mid-range shots. No. It's kind of either at the rim or a three, like D'Antoni's system. But if you look at the rest of the league, bro, the mid-range is actually starting to kind of make a resurgence. You know, you look at dudes like Jokic, you look at dudes like AD, you look at dudes like Embiid, you know, Bron's starting to get that mid-range turnaround. Kawhi has that mid-range turnaround. KD got it. Giannis, that's actually, to me, the biggest missing hole of his game. He can't shoot the three, but if he had a reliable 17 to 18-footer, you feel me, that would change the game tremendously for him. So I think just looking at the analytics for, you know, game planning, to me, it's not right. But I'm gonna answer your question about who I got today. I got the Clippers today because even though the Clippers have been really bad on defense this year, I just think the Clippers have more depth. Like, the Nets don't have no depth to me outside of their top five, because DeAndre doesn't even really play big minutes anymore. So, like, they closing lineup, it usually look like maybe Shamet with Jeff Green, KD, Kyrie, and Harden.
Jeff Green been balling.
Yeah, you know, he's solid, but, you know, like, I'm gonna say the Clippers tonight just because they've been rolling. That's all.
Yeah, I think the Clippers got it too, but man, we never know, man. This could be the night. I don't know if the Nets gonna, you know what I'm saying, show up and pull that out of a playoff P. You know what I'm saying? You never know what you would get out of playoff P tonight. So I think this is gonna be a real good game, man. It's gonna be close. I don't see it up in the 120s. I see it like 110ish, like 110ish at the high. You know what I'm saying? But I think this is gonna be a good game. I feel like Kawhi may go for 40.
I'm saying, man, the Clippers, bro. As much as I don't rock with them, they've been looking good, bro. You feel me? I ain't gonna hate. Ty Lue, he's low key allowed them to all do what they do best. You feel me? Like he's turned Paul George into like that scorer. We'll put the ball in your hands more, go get buckets. Same with Kawhi a little bit. You got Serge playing the stretch five. You feel me? Like everybody on that team has a defined role. But the fact that Nick Batum. I'm gonna shout out Nick. I'm gonna shout out Nick Batum before I shout out Luke. All right, Luke Kennard. And then Nick Batum, low-key been like the MVP to me because he's the glue guy.
Isn't he so much better playing for $2.6 million than $30 million? Like he plays so much better.
I mean, he also he's not playing at a point now where his role needs to be like he really got to get buckets or anything. Because like coming out of Portland, that's why he got that money in the first place because he was low-key getting off. You feel me? But now he low-key plays like the facilitator role for them, which is nice. I don't understand why their defense has turned so shit though. Like they kind of went from being one of the best defensive teams to one of the worst in the league by the numbers. I think that'll pick up because their guys are just so good. Sure. You know, like you got Kawhi, you got Paul George, like you got Serge, you got some really good defenders. So you know, I'm looking forward to this game tonight. Like you said, I can agree with that 110. I think whoever wins probably end up like 115, 116-ish.
Yeah, for sure, man. I got, like I said, I got the Clippers. It'll be tight, but I think they'll be able to pull it off. But I wouldn't be surprised if Brooklyn puts it together tonight. I'm not.
You never know.
You know, Landry Shamet, you know what I'm saying? DeAndre Jordan, the old former team. You never know how they feeling tonight. But let's roll on to the team that beat the Brooklyn Nets. Let's go ahead and bring up these Washington Wizards. Do you think they will tank for the next pick?
No.
And Bradley Beal said he doesn't want to leave Washington.
And that's why I'm saying no, because they're gonna try to win some games. Like I know they're gonna play the dangerous game again of doing what the Wizards do and end up middle of the pack, which to me is the worst organizational move that you can make. You gotta find a clear direction.
You gotta go for broke.
Either you playing the bottom and you developing, or you trying to compete. You feel me? Like I don't think garnishing an 8th seed is like that impressive. Like, you feel me? Teams can get to the 8th seed like the Timberwolves and then never get back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look. If you really trying to fight for that playoff spot, I think you need to be in that 6 to 1 range. You feel me? To maybe even get an upset or just show your players that you're about winning. I don't think they're gonna tank. I think a game like against the Nets, I think that was a big momentum builder. If Russell can play like that, like he was doing for the Rockets the last half of the season last year, I think they're not that far out the chase. Realistically, they're really just not. So they should tank though, because Russell's not going to be there forever. They need to go mix him with Sade Cunningham. I take Cade, you know, or just get a nice big or something like that, like Evan Mobley, because they need defense as well.
I don't know if I'll make the Evan Mobley move just because they have Thomas Bryant and you never know what Hachimura is going to look like. But I feel like Cade Cunningham, like the writing's on the wall. I think they would definitely tank for Cade, and I feel like that Bradley Beal will probably understand that because, and I'm gonna just be honest. For him not saying that he wants to leave, because my thoughts was, all right, LA gonna put together this nice little package, probably send KCP, probably let Hero walk, a cool something like that. You know what I'm saying? Schroeder for sure, let that walk go over there. But he's saying he don't want to leave, and it's like, okay, now does he don't care about winning like that? Do he just want to get peace?
I think Bradley's a smart man. He saw how the Jay Harden situation unfolded, and he said to himself, we're not going to make a mess of this. Washington has treated me well. You feel me? Their fans have treated me well. I'm the superstar here. Like, you know, he's very deeply rooted into the community. I think when he says he doesn't want to be traded, obviously he either means it, or two, he's just saying that not to diminish his trade value. So, you know, a team can make a good package or a good offering for him.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's off the table for the Wizards to trade him. I still think if they're playing really, really bad, like down the stretch this year or toward the trade deadline, that, team is going to be a lot harder to, get rid of the offers that teams are calling on. But if he goes out right now and says, like, I want to be traded, I don't want to be here, then teams know, like, the Wizards really have no option. So they're going to throw them bad packages and stuff like that, and they're going to make a deal a lot harder. Kind of like the Jay Harden situation. Jay Harden had to wait it all out and make it even uglier for them to trade them. So instead of doing that publicly, even if you're not happy, put on the front in the public eye and, have those discussions with your team. But I think Bradley really does like DC personally. I don't see him. I kind of see him like the Dame type guy. Like, they've been very loyal to me. They paid me my entire career. You feel me? He likes the city. But if you want to win at some point, you're going to have to make a change. But it's hard.
I say it like this. You ain't going to never win in Washington. You know what I'm saying? So with that in mind, if you do want to stay there, that does say, well, I guess he could have a mindset where I'm going to just keep trying, and if we don't get it, we don't get it. I'm going to end up being paid, but I don't know, bro. They're not going to get it done in Washington.
You never know, though. Because that's what that's what people were saying about Toronto. You know what I'm saying? We was always saying Toronto probably wasn't really ever going to get it done. We just, before the Warriors got good again, we probably wasn't really like before.
But they weren't going to get it done, bro.
Exactly. All it takes is just like a stroke of good fortune. You feel me? That's really all it takes in the NBA. You get good players.
They're not going to have that. Pause. But they're not going to have that many good strokes for that.
No. They not. But all I'm saying is that sometimes it does. Like, for example, right? Say they get a transcendent draft pick this year. Like, say Cade Cunningham turns out to be like the next big thing. You feel me? Then the Russell Westbrook's contract comes off in 2 years or so, and maybe you can go acquire like the fitting players that you need. Like, sometimes you do have to be patient. Like, I don't think people really would have thought the Mavs was going to win a title. You know what I'm saying? Back then, I don't think, like you said, a lot of fortunate circumstances have to happen sometimes. But sometimes, you can build a competitive roster, and if you surprise some people, you can win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the Heat were going to win this year, but they could have somehow. Like, they pushed it to 6.
My thing is this as well, though. Like, when I watched that Brooklyn game, and I was watching some sports shows, and that let me know that they seen it as well. Bradley Beal didn't want to play against Brooklyn. He was literally out there with an attitude the whole first half, bro. And they were playing decent. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, bro. It's like, what do you want, bro? Like, if you're gonna sit there and be mad every game, it's like, bro, ain't nobody gonna be trying to deal with that, bro. That's like prima donna behavior, bro. Like, I get it. You've been putting on and nobody else been contributing. I could get that could be frustrating, but bro, y'all are in the middle of a ball game. You ain't shaking guys' hands, you ain't shooting shots, you shooting 6 shots, and like, bro, come on, bro.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate though, because like he's in a sticky situation because now the Nets don't really have no room for him. The Heat, now that they re-signed Bam, it's going to be kind of hard for them to make room for dude unless they trade off Duncan or Tyler, which they haven't really shown a willingness to do so. The Sixers looks like they have everything in place now, so I don't think they'd really be willing to make much of a move. Clippers, they already paying too high of salaries. I don't really see much wiggle room for them either. Same with the Warriors. So a lot of the contending teams, I don't really see where the money would add up. Like even with the Lakers, they don't really have much assets to trade either. Like they read up Kuz, they got Caruso, you got KCP over like 10 million. So you got some pieces there, but then you have no depth. So, it's not too many great situations out there for Brad right now, which is unfortunate though.
Man, the Lakers would be a good look for him. I think that'd be a good. I think that Brown was kind of banking on that. Like, man, why don't you want to come over here and get your first one?
Facts.
You gonna want to do that somewhere. Like this, if you don't do it here, then where? You know what I'm saying?
You never know. Those conversations still might be had, but I just know Brad. He's very well mannered when it comes to the media. He's never gonna slip up and make a statement. Like, oh, I don't want to be here. Like this sucks. He's not gonna do that.
For sure. I just think, man, I don't know. I think the Wizards are going to be tanking. We'll see how. I think they have to go for Cade Cunningham or depending on if they feel like they could get rid of Russ this offseason and go for Suggs. You never know. It just all depends because he's a good, nice point guard too, and he can still shoot as well. But,
yeah, athletic too.
Yeah. But I just like Cade because of the height. You know what I mean?
Sure. Everybody gonna want Cade, so it's just really luck of the lottery. But it's unfortunate now because like the whole lottery process, it's not as rigged anymore for tanking. So a team like the Pelicans, which they did end up with the #1 pick, which was kind of sus because it was just like like the Pelicans, they weren't even in the bottom of the race. So nowadays tanking doesn't really guarantee you anything. So teams are kind of more encouraged to hoop every time out.
Yeah, we gotta for another topic when we get back, we gotta see like what are the no miss draft picks because we got those drafts. You got Lonzo going above Tatum and stuff like folks going above Tatum. Like, and I all alone in that draft, I thought Tatum was the best player. I'm like,
I did too.
He ain't the best player. I don't know in my eyes stuff. That's why sometimes when people start getting wrapped up in this hype and all that, like, bro, I believe what my eyes tell me. And my eyes told me back then, hey, he's the best player.
And he would have been a better fit for both of those teams that passed on him, actually, because if you look at the Lakers at that, the Lakers kind of, because like they kind of took the route.
Tatum, Brown, and AD.
Well, look, Brown wasn't there when they made this decision.
But
so they
he
went
was going to get there.
They went for the hometown kid, you know what I'm saying? UCLA, he looked like the guy. But Markelle Fultz for the Sixers, that was inexcusable because they could have had 6'10" Ben Simmons, 6'9" Jason Tatum, bucket getter, and 7-foot Joel Embiid. They would have been in the finals probably last year, bro. No cap.
I don't know what they on. I just don't see how it happened. And they let it fall exactly in Boston's hands, exactly what Boston was going to do and grab them. You feel me? But let's get rolling on to the second one, man. I mean, not the second one, the fourth one. We got they're the second in the West now, but we got the Utah Jazz. Do you think they're a real threat in the West? They were just knocked out the first place by your LA Clippers. They've been holding down the number 1 spot and the best record in the league for a minute till this week. Do you think they're a real threat?
No.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm gonna go ahead and just say no. I think they're a first round. They'll have a high seed, so they're a first round, type team. They'll get past the first round, which they've done in the past few years. I do think that they're better than they were last year, though, because Mike Conley, he's got more time to adjust to his role than balling, and Bogdanovich is back too, looking healthy. They got the best 3-point percentage in the league, so I like what they have. I'm just not sold on it yet. I'm not sold on Rudy Gobert when he can get, on any given night, put up 47 by the best center in your conference. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me doesn't scream contender because they might meet each other in a 7-game series again. Like if your defensive player of the year can't at least hold one of the better guys to like close to an average, I'm not asking him to stop it. Jokic, you feel me? That's a much harder task. But 47 points and how easy it looked on him too. Like I've always thought they needed a more versatile big man to kind of unleash Mitchell, but they're not ready yet. I'll be honest, they're not ready yet.
And that's going to really be my focus for this one. It's just narrowing in on Rudy Gobert, and everybody knows how much I truly dislike Rudy Gobert. But I've been hearing all the talk. Oh my God, he 20 rebounds, 22. Oh my God, he's the defensive player of the year. He blocks everything. He's the best rim protector. I don't want to hear that shit, man.
It's not true.
I don't want to hear that. Like he just got scrubbed. So that lets me know any guy, like whether it's Jokic, AD, Embiid, who else is a good big five? Like anybody like that, it's over with. It's over. You ain't doing nothing, bro.
It's to me like the defense isn't as big of a wash for his offense to me, but they've kind of offset it with so many other offensive players. But to your point, man, I mean, like if you run into the Nuggets in the second round, like I'm gonna take the Nuggets because their best player is gonna dog my defensive anchor. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the Jazz have gotten that much better than last year. I think they have the most continuity though. D. Mitch and Gobert, they've been playing together for a minute. Mike Conley's been there 2 years now. I think Bogdanovich, this is his second year. And the coach, you got to give a lot of credit to Snyder. I think they're talented. Like Donovan Mitchell is an extremely talented player, but I don't see superstar from them yet. He's not a superstar just yet. He's on his way. Like he's on his way. I'm not going to hate. I really like D. Mitch. I like his game. He's on his way to that level because his scoring and the way he plays transitions to more wins than Devin Booker. To me, you know what I'm saying? So I think he's on his way, but the supporting cast, I don't see a Robin just yet. I don't see a Robin to his Batman just yet. Not for a 7-game series.
Yeah. I don't know about the superstar thing. That's why I was happy Shaq said that to him. Personally, like, hey, I just don't think he that. But hey, you're a good player. I know you're gonna be good. I just don't think he that.
I respected it.
Be that though. Not saying that you won't ever be that. You'll probably be that, but hey, you're just not that right now.
The reason I could say he's trending toward it, yeah. I'm not gonna say he's a superstar just yet, but I mean, in the past, what was it? 3 playoff series. He played in 3 different series so far in his career. First year, he knocked out 2 superstars and played like the best player on the court. And those are legit superstars. They may not, Russell's kind of on the way down, but like Paul George is still considered one of the best superstars, 2-way superstars in the league. D-Mitch cooked him. You feel me? Last year, what he was doing to Jamal Murray, who people was trying to call a superstar. I wasn't agreeing with that. I'm still not, because he's just not consistent enough. He was going back and forth with 40 balls, 45 pieces against him. Like, he's box office. You feel me? He's turning Utah, or has turned Utah, into a destination where people want to watch, and that to me kind of screams star. Superstar, you got to win, get to that Western Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? Then that's kind of where I'll put him at that superstar range, but I just don't see that this year.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to get to that Western Conference Final and hold your own. Like, you got to hold your own. Like,
hey man, Chris Paul was a superstar before that.
Huh?
Chris Paul was a superstar before he even, he didn't even sniff the conference final.
Yeah, but it's a big difference between Paul and like, it's a big difference.
But I think, like, just in terms of making winning plays, right? Like D-Mitch, ever since he stepped in the league, Utah has been better. And like now, number 1 seed type, like Chris Paul ain't done nothing like that. Just, with the Rockets he did, but he was playing with another superstar. Like D-Mitch is doing all this. He not playing with one other superstar on his team. Like Rudy is paid like a superstar. He might be a defensive superstar. Depends on who you ask. But like he's not too much talent around him. And the way that they was smacking teams last week, I was like, man, they're pretty good. They look good, but playoff wise, I'm not a believer yet.
I don't know. Sometimes, you could just look at it and tell it's a fraud. That's how I feel, bro. It's a fraud. Like, I don't believe it, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Even if I don't care if they had a week where they beat the Lakers, Clippers, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, 76ers, all the Nuggets. It just don't look right to me, bro.
If they did all that, then I had to be like, all right, they legit. But I've seen them lose.
Right, it don't look right to me. I think it's a fraud, man. We'll see. When it's time to matter, when it matters, we will see. And I don't think it's gonna be like that.
Well, them and the Clippers are the 2 teams to me. It's like you just gotta show it. Like, honestly, like you just gotta prove it at this point. I gotta see it to believe it. Like, no matter how good y'all look this year, it's gonna come down to playoff time. Because like the Clippers really, really look good, and so did the Jazz. So I want to give them their credit, but it's all about the long game. And neither of the guys on each of those teams have proven to me, in the past 2 years at least, that they're ready for the spotlight when it comes down to the playoffs. So, just show me, and I'll change my mind.
For sure though. Man, let's roll over to this next one. We got Dallas, man. And do you think that they should move off Porzingis? I'm gonna go ahead and start this one off. I think it's time, but it's kind of like, what are you gonna get? Like, I guess I would say it just depends on the market. You know what I'm saying? Because he hasn't been able to produce. The game that I did watch, I think it was like last week, the end of last week or something. He had like 3 points, 3 fouls. Well, no, he had like 3 points, 3 fouls. Then when he got to the fourth quarter, it was like 3 points and 5. Like, bro, ain't nobody trying to see that. It was against the Utah. That was exactly who it was.
They got ran by Utah too.
Yeah, and it was like, dude, like, bro, I just don't. I think Luka deserves better. I think he needs better. I get it. It's another Euro player. No, bro. He needs another good player over there. I don't think Porzingis is going to do it. I think Porzingis would be good in a team that's like already like contender. Like, you know what I'm saying? Already a top contender. That's where I feel like you would get the most out of Porzingis from production wise. But I don't think Dallas is the right spot for him, because he has to go out there and get it on a nightly basis, which I don't know just physically wise if he's able to do that, So I definitely think it's time to move off of him. But I would say, depending on what the market what the market is saying. Like we seeing how Oladipo wanted to get out the way, get out of there, but the market wasn't there. You know, he ended up getting traded, but I feel like they need to. I think Mark Cuban, he's a good guy, and I feel like he knows how to assess the market pretty well. So once he see what he could get back, I feel like he'll make a decision then.
I'm not ready to say they should move off him just yet. I just think Luka and him are just, young talent that you don't want to give up on too quickly. Like Luka is at a point where like he deserves better, but we got to be real. It's only his third year. People have played in bad situations much longer, you know what I'm saying, and have kind of made the most of it. Obviously, I don't want to compare him to LeBron, but the talent he had in his first 3 years, you wouldn't say that was great talent. Same with Michael, you wouldn't say it was amazing talent, and Michael wasn't getting to the playoffs. Neither was Bron early on. It happens. Sometimes you need those growing pains. I kind of see what you mean, though, with Kristaps Porzingis. I don't think he's a second option on a contending team. I just think he's a little too wishy-washy because of his health. But I don't think he's having a bad year so far. I think the Mavericks are really struggling with defense, though. Like, if he's not going to be a rim protector anymore, they're going to have to go out and get somebody who will. Because from what I've seen, I think like the best big that Luka would play with would be somebody like Bam. You feel me? Another playmaker, another athletic guy. You feel me? Somebody
you have to be 7 foot. You know what I'm saying? Just somebody who's big, physical, who could hit an open shot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they need the physicality from that rim protecting spot. But I'm not ready to give up on Kristaps just yet. I think they need to continue to shape the roster. I think Luka and him actually both need to get better. They've lost like 13 straight games when it's been decided by less than like 2 points or something like that. So they also have some things to work out with their late game offense and just closing out teams because they're young though. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it doesn't come overnight. Like AD, it took him a long time to figure out how to close teams. And even then, still now, like if you watch Laker games, like Bron will try to feed AD the ball. He'll be turning it over, not making quick moves. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to learn how to win. And I think Luka's getting to that point, but I don't think they're ready just yet. But if Kristaps get injured again, I could be regretting this because they could have traded him, got some assets, and that's my biggest concern with Kristaps. He stay on the floor.
And that's why physically, I don't know. Like I don't know if he's gonna be able to really sit in there and really grind that out with Luka like how he has to. That's why I would just say, hey man, we love you, all that, but we just don't. I can't bet on you physically because every time I bet on you, it's like, damn, he over there on the bench with some tight ass jeans on and you feel me, turtleneck.
Euro jeans.
Yeah, like get in the game. Like, what are you doing, bro? And Rick Carlisle, I'm sure Rick Carlisle will be able to put it together, but it's just they got to get better, like you said. They got to get a lot better.
Yeah, and like honestly, I don't really see the trade market being too big for him right now because a lot of the bigs are kind of in good situations. Like the bigs that you would want to play, the Joels, the Jokic's, the ADs, like they're all kind of on contenders. Bam's on the Heat. You feel me? They're going to get a lot better. I don't see him becoming unhappy there. But I don't really see too many other bigs right now in the current market that like I wouldn't want them to go out and get Drummond. He's not really a good defender. He's a great rebounder, but he's not really a physical presence. He's just a big dude. Like they need an enforcer. I'm not exactly sure who that is, but the market's not big. It's not huge for him. I thought Serge Ibaka could have been a really good piece for them. Pair Serge next to Luka, that would have been very scary. But a lot of the guys off the market.
Yeah, I really just don't. I don't know. I just don't know about Porzingis. Even though he's a Knick, he was a Knick.
Former Knick. He wanted out.
And tough loss yesterday, but we'll be all right. We've been holding it down. 20 games into the season, we here. You know what I'm saying? We sitting how we need to be. We better than what we expected, but it's not about the New York Knicks right now because this is
always about the Knicks.
And it's always about them. That lets you know that we on the right track, bro. We about to get something popping over there real soon.
On the way.
Yeah. Let's go. And I want to see them power rankings. That's the one thing. I got to see the power rankings because I know you disrespected us so bad at the start of the season. I think we was like 28th.
Y'all was like 25. 24? Yeah, I was like 24, 25.
You know what I'm saying? Like we got so disrespected. You know what I'm saying? We got to be a top 15 team. Well, I don't know about top 15.
Man, top 20, top 20.
Probably top 18.
I'm gonna give y'all top dub because I think if y'all was in the Western Conference, I don't see y'all in the playoff mix immediately. But I'm gonna give y'all. I'll give y'all top 17. But that's exceeding my expectations. Like they've surprised me. I actually tuned into this game, so you feel me? I'm gonna give y'all love. Don't worry.
Yeah, we in there. But man, let's go ahead and roll over to this next one, man. We got the Warriors inquiring about Brandon Ingram. They've been, I guess they asked what they'll do, what the Pelicans will do for him, what they're willing to deal. And I don't know if I like this. I'm gonna let you go.
I don't see the potential in the move. Just because Brandon Ingram doesn't really fit into the Warriors timeline. They got Clay coming back, who will be close to 30 at the time. Steph's like 32 at this point. Draymond is like 30. Like they need contributors who are ready to play right now in a winning situation. I think Brandon Ingram is still growing. I think he's still developing, but I don't think he's the guy that the Warriors need. I think he's pretty ball dominant. When he's at his best, he's very ball dominant, and that's not a bad thing. He's just better with the ball in his hands, but the Warriors are better free-flowing offense. He's not the best spot-up shooter. He's a solid playmaker, but that's what you got Draymond and Clay for. But I don't really see what they would trade for him. What would the Pelicans want back for Brandon Ingram? Would they want Wiseman or Nico Mannion? Like they don't really have too many guys that they.
And I think because of that, you can't really put them out there just because it's like, hey, what do you have? You don't want to get rid of Wiseman because it's like, you don't know what that's going to be in it, and he's been looking good. So I wouldn't want to get rid of him, too early. But I don't know, man. It's a difficult situation. I feel like their best option would be kind of trying to get off Wiggins and Oubre. But I feel like that's tough though. Like,
and I also feel like the Pelicans don't want them because they just re-signed. They literally just re-signed. Well, not re-signed. They signed Brandon Ingram to like that 5-year deal after his rookie. So I don't think that they want Kelly Oubre or Andrew Wiggins. Like, I don't see anything of value that they would get back unless Brandon Ingram just became, super unhappy or something in New Orleans, which, I haven't heard any of that just yet. But I don't really see what type of value they would get back from the Warriors. The Warriors seem like they got some pretty weak dudes on their bench to me.
Yeah, man, they had to get rid of it had to be a package with, and I would probably try to do Oubre
for sure. Oubre, Nico Mannion.
I kind of like Pascal.
It would have to be Pascal though.
Yeah, I just do the both of them. The hell with Andrew Wiggins. They paying them too much anyway. I'd rather just pay.
That's what makes it harder though, because then it's like the Pelicans have that contract for a few more years, and I don't think anybody want Andrew Wiggins' contract.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I definitely think if they able to pull it off, I would definitely try to pull it off if I was them, but I just don't think that's like the first thing on the agenda. I think the Warriors are always just in the business of getting better, which makes them just lets you know how good their front office is. They're always asking around about players, checking the market. Even they checked about Bradley Beal, just a lot of different guys. They check Giannis, and that just lets you know what type of team they are. They definitely going to always analyze the market and know what's out there and see if they can put something together. And if they can put something together, they will. Best believe that. Yeah, best believe that.
Man.
Yeah. But nah, though, man, I think this is going to be a good little joint right here. I think if they able to pull it off, then go ahead. You know what I'm saying? But if not, I wouldn't push a lot of assets, especially a Wiseman.
Nah, not at all. I think the Warriors, they're better off just staying pat right now, building continuity. Unless they can bring in like an impact player, which Brandon Ingram is, but I think they need like a veteran. I don't think they need another star. And if you go for Brandon Ingram, that kind of indicates to me it's like, all right, you need like another guy at this point. I don't think the Warriors need another guy. They need some better depth though, for sure. Yeah. I don't see them needing another, Brandon Ingram, potentially his ceilings, it's superstar. I don't think the Warriors, obviously you want to have more and more, but, I don't think they need that at this. It doesn't really fit their timeline. But like you said, Bob Myers, he's always active. He's, it was a former agent. So, he got great player relationships. And, he's always trying to get the best guy. So I respect it. But, I just don't see this move helping anybody.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Let's get into this last one, man. We have the MVP talks that are now ramping up. Like I said, we 20 games into the season, man, and I need to know, who do you think is the 2020-2021 MVP of the league?
Right now?
Right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Joel Embiid.
Okay.
He's not even on the graphic. But I'm gonna go Joel Embiid, best team and best numbers. You know what I'm saying? I look at the numbers that he putting up. I think he averaging like 26 or something like that, like 11, close to 11 rebounds. And he's just playing more games. Like before, it was like, all right, Joel's good, but can he stay on the floor? But now he's on the floor, and they look very good with him on the floor. They've only won one game now without him on the floor. So it's like, I like Joel Embiid as this pick. He can fall off for sure, though. Don't get me wrong. But I do think this year that the award is going to a big. It's either going to go to him or it's going to go to Jokic. Just because the sheer numbers that they putting up, if the Nuggets can force their way into like fourth in the West, maybe third in the West, at some point, then Jokic is going to have to get a huge nod for that, averaging the most assists from a center ever and the most assists in the league. At his size and his speed is insane. And his scoring numbers are up. His three-point shooting is up. So if they do creep up back to that fourth seed, I can see them getting the MVP. I don't think Kawhi or Paul George will get too many votes for it. It's hard to get those votes when you're playing with like another dynamic duo, unless you're just like so good, you feel me, that it's just like, all right, whatever. You feel me? Like, we just got to give it to you. And it's kind of the same for LeBron and AD. Like, they numbers take a hit, so I don't think either of them get an MVP. LeBron, he'd get it before AD did, because the way he playing this year, still looking good. So, but I'm going to say it big this year. Those are my two picks.
Man, it's been a big, man, it's always a big, but nah. Let's go. For me, I gotta go Kawhi, and I hear what you just said about the numbers and stuff, like how the numbers take a hit.
Him and PG's are good numbers. They both averaging like 25 plus, but him and PG averaging the same stats.
He dropping 26, 5, and 5. And to me, it's just the efficiency. You know what I'm saying? 50 from the field, 40 from the 3, 90 from the free throw line. That's what makes me put him in that category, just because of the efficiency and the rate of what he's doing it at, still on it defensively. You know what I'm saying? Still, probably one of the best two-way defenders in the league.
Definitely.
Number 1 seed, you know what I'm saying? So they winning, like the thing that they said with Giannis. Oh, well, they had the best record or shit. They got the best record. You know what I'm saying? So I think
that's why I said Philly. I said Philly just because they got the number 1 seed too. But I can see Kawhi. The only hard part for Kawhi is like his numbers, and like, the MVP is very much a statistical regular season award. His numbers are like so close to Paul George's. It's going to be hard for the voters to say which one was like more valuable this specific season. Because Paul George averaging like 25, 5, and 5 too, shooting like pretty close to 50, 40, 90. I think he was shooting like 42% from 3 last time I checked. So, they're both so valuable for the team. I think it would be hard for the voters to differentiate.
His numbers, Paul George, 24, 6, and 5.
Yeah, like they pretty identical.
Shit, 45 from the 3. 50 from the field with the free throw line looking like. 90 from the 91 from the free throw line. So he in that 50, 40, 90 split as well. But man, I just think, I don't know, man. Them two, they putting it together. I like Kawhi. A lot of people, they never like giving it to Kawhi just because the type of player he is. But I feel like he's been putting it together, man. That team without Kawhi, I don't want to see it. I feel like they could survive and win some games without Paul George. You know what I'm saying? But without Kawhi, I don't know. Like, I really don't know, bro. Like, so that's what make him the best to me. You feel me? Out of them two. But nah, man, I don't have nothing else, man. You got anything else?
Nah, man. I'm curious to see how, this Nets Clippers game. We definitely going to be having to discuss this one because the defense is going to be pretty non-existent. And the offense is going to be booming. So I know we're going to have a lot to talk about next segment.
Oh, Oh. Real quick, who got the late game? Check real quick to see who got the late
game. Celtics, Warriors. I already know.
Who you got in that?
It's at Golden State. I got the Celtics.
You got the Celtics.
I got both road teams taking home a W today.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I definitely want to just play this. You know what I'm saying? So we could hear this because this is legendary right here. I ain't even gonna hold you.
This Draymond,
bro. This is legendary. Like, and I don't even. You can ask Dave. Shout out Dave, man. I'm in here trying to, you know what I'm saying, trying to pull it up. But this is.
Bro said, Ruder?
Yeah,
when
bro.
When did he become a tough guy, huh?
Bro, this shit was priceless, bro. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Clay talking crazy.
Checking my guy. You good? Everybody seems to be.
Man.
Everybody's going to their respective locker rooms there, but yeah, I don't know.
He's gonna be out the league soon.
See that boy Draymond. Draymond was like, I was already in the locker room.
Man.
Bro.
I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of weird for that, bro, because there's been other trash players that have talked trash to them before. They ain't never have to air out Rodney like that. Like, come on, Draymond. Like, I was listening to Kendrick Perkins. I kind of, I don't always agree with Perk, but he says something that I like. I'm like, Draymond and Clay, I don't be seeing y'all do anything on the court either, for real. Like, Draymond talk a lot. He actually don't really do nothing either. Like,
man,
he talk about the game, bro.
Put it on.
Draymond ain't throwing no hands, bro. You feel me? A shove match ain't all these pros to me. Like, this conversation about fighting out here, bro.
Oh man, I need the 30. I need the 30. Hold on.
He out of pocket.
Bro, this is hilarious. Bro. Hilarious. Like, bro, but you could say that about Green, but Green put on, bro. Like, Green.
Look, Draymond ain't like this. My thing when it comes to like the whole fighting thing in the NBA, bro. Like, bro, I know y'all don't really want to fight because if y'all could have easily just linked up. Like, we ain't hear no stories about no pros going to link up at a park because that's not against the rules, bro. If you really had smoke with somebody in the league, if you really had an issue, you could go fade it out, bro. But that's how I know, like, this whole tough guy thing, bro. Be tough on the court. Like, Rodney, he was sticking up for his teammate. He shouldn't have been doing that, you feel me? Because the game was over, bro. Say it while you on the court, you feel me? Don't be coming off the court asking for smoke. But, you feel me? Draymond, bro, you ain't taking no fades.
And you ain't played, though. Like,
that way you not taking no fades.
Like, who was the dude who like bumped into Draymond and who ain't play? Like,
I do remember that.
Bro.
Hey, what's up, bro?
How could I turn it up, bro?
Nah, you know who we're gonna have to talk about next week. We're gonna have to talk about courtside Karen, Karen down there in Atlanta for sure. We're gonna need that clip next week.
For sure.
Yeah.
For real.
Man.
I was wondering that too. When the fuck did Rodney like, bro?
Man, it was silly, bro. That whole ordeal was silly. It was just like, all right, Draymond and y'all doing too much. Let the scrub be a scrub, bro. You feel me? You gotta let him scrub out.
Yeah, man. It's been a lot going on, like on these sidelines, man. We've been having a lot going on. Like you said, we had the courtside Karen, all that. Let's try to get into that real quick.
We not giving her no pub, bro. We can't give her no pub.
Bro, the thing is, I haven't watched it though, bro. Like, I haven't watched it.
You gonna want to hear it though.
What did she say?
She was like, "Oh, LeBron, he came over, told me to sit down, bitch. So I was just sticking for my husband, blah blah." But the audio actually picked up what LeBron said, and all he said was, "Oh, steroid ass" to her husband, because he looked like he off the roids. You gotta see a picture, dude.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I would have pulled one of them Russ. Like, man, hey, sit over there and sit down with your husband and shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
that's basically what Bron said. He said, "Shut up with your steroid eyes." He's like, "Oh, steroid eyes."
Damn, Dennis Schroeder was back in the A.
And he wants smoke.
I think this was happening also. Somebody was all over LeBron. Still on LeBron. I think that's what it is.
Hey, we still live? Oh yeah.
Yeah, we definitely live. We catching all this.
Steroid. Look, that's where he just said, "Oh, steroid ass." Oh, Larry the Lobster looking at
On me.
Upset about it. I think it's nothing.
Plastic surgery ass bitch. Get her ass up out of here.
man.
Out of there. Out of there. Hell yeah. But nah though, man. That was just a funny situation though, man.
We gonna get the footage for that next week for sure.
Yeah, you can see the fake nose, all that. Jesus, Lord have mercy. I would hate for that to be my shorty, and she show up to the like, this is LeBron. Hey, hold on,
Bro.
I know you probably don't watch it. You watch 85 South Show?
Here and there, bro. I do. I ain't watching nothing recently,
bro.
but I rock with 85 South. Bro. It's funny.
Here and there, and this like fits the perfect mold of this. So it was Young Dro. He was on, and he was talking about how like the situation with T.I. and Floyd. He was like, man, we chilling in Vegas. I'm here. I don't know what's going on. And what he was like, he was like, I asked Floyd what was going on. He was like, nah, he was cool. He wasn't really talking. Then I can't pull it up. It's far into the video. But he was like, man, he was talking and I don't know. I guess they went to a club and T.I. had walked up on him. And that nigga Dro was like, man, you came to fight the champ?
Like, come on, bro. Stop playing.
Hey,
you don't want to fight. You're not going to fight Floyd, bro.
Bro, she came to fight the champ, bro. She wanted some with Bron. And what? Hey, man, that's crazy. I don't know what I would have did. I would have put your ass down, man. They talking to LeBron like that.
She getting publicity.
That's like the Chihuahua barking at a Great Dane.
Yeah, like, man,
calm down, little girl, because your boyfriend can get punched out the arena too.
Yeah, and I would have just let her go. Like, man, hey, go. I probably would have gave her the keys to the car so she couldn't pull off because she probably
you at home.
Yeah, she probably would have been mad and would have made me Uber. Nah, you cool there while I finish watching the game. I want to see LeBron. You feel me? I paid for these courtside tickets. And my story earlier on in the podcast, I know how much them courtside tickets cost right now for the Hawks. You know what I'm saying? Not even the courtside, just the regular joint cost crazy. But let's go ahead and check up out of here, man. Appreciate you all for joining in, man. Nate, appreciate you for joining in. Again, AQUANO Hydrate. Make sure y'all go over there, buy a case, man. Send them a message that Micah and friends sent you. And you never know what could happen. You may get a couple, 2-3 more bottles tossed in there, so make sure you go there. Shout out to National Sports Chat. That's the page. That's the brand. Go over there, like, comment, subscribe, YouTube, IG, all that. Make sure you go over there to TOV Sports. It's Tell Dave. We said, what up? This whole podcast is being brought to you by my guy, David Sams.
Yeah, sir.
Let's go. Yeah, let's not get federal. But let's go ahead. Make sure y'all go over there. Follow the podcast page as well. Micah and friends, man. Make sure you go follow Nate Cott. We miss you. He's gonna be back on the next podcast as well. But man, we checking in and we checking out. Yes, sir. Mike,
sir.
Get out of here.
What up?
Yes, Sirski.
Here is something you can't understand. How I just keep killing, man. I'm from the South Rim, spinning like ceiling fans. Gambling with life, no complaining about the dealer hand. Back when niggas used to ride around the Dipset. Now these cops will shoot you on your live, that's a killer cam.